The Mahdi's campaign begins on the coast of Acre. Here, he orders the construction of 400 ships, establishing a naval spine for the push toward the Roman frontier. This fleet is met at Tarsus by an immense Roman mobilization of 100 crosses, 10,000 men under each, 1 million soldiers massing to block the advance. The armies collide at Raqqa, their front lines stretching 10 parasangs, 35 miles of continuous combat. The accounts detail a kinetic and brutal engagement. The fighting is defined by the close-quarters thrust of spears, with the Mahdi's forces inflicting a staggering volume of Roman casualties. So many fall in this engagement that the Euphrates is said to physically change. The volume of blood entering the water is described as turning the river current entirely red. By the time the primary clash ends, the riverbanks are lined with casualties. The records emphasize the heavy stench of the dead, as the bodies remain where they fell. This attrition breaks the Roman lines completely. The king of the Romans and his remaining soldiers abandon the river and begin a full-scale retreat to the west. They seek sanctuary within the ancient mountain-backed fortifications of Antioch on the Orontes River. The violence at Raqqa effectively funnels the remnants of the Roman military out of the open field and into this single geographic choke point. The Mahdi follows the retreat to the city walls, descending upon the location of the Dome of Abbas. The Roman king and his surviving forces are now officially cornered. At this moment, the momentum of the war stops. Rather than a final assault, the king of the Romans sends word requesting a formal truce. The Mahdi grants the request on his own terms. He demands the mandatory payment of the Jizya, a land tax that serves as a formal acknowledgement of his authority over the region. Under the agreement, the Romans are allowed to remain in their country, but they are forbidden from holding captives. Every prisoner must be released and returned to their family. With the treaty in place, the Mahdi pauses his campaign. He remains in Antioch for exactly 1 year. While the city provides a temporary refuge for the army, Imam Ali warned that its future was grim, predicting it would eventually be overtaken by hunger, high prices, and fear. During this year-long wait, the Mahdi gathers the specific companions named in the prophecies, men like al-Rahman from Antioch and Jafr from Homs. This period in Antioch marks the point where the campaign shifts. The army that arrived after a year of physical slaughter now prepares for a march defined by different rules. When the year concludes, the Mahdi orders his forces to break camp and resume the march out of Antioch. The campaign turns northwest toward the heart of the empire, targeting the massive fortifications of Constantinople. The warfare of the previous year has vanished. The Mahdi's forces no longer approach these Roman fortresses with drawn swords or siege engines. Instead, the soldiers approach the remaining defenses without shedding blood. The vanguard simply stands before the walls and utters the phrase, "There is no God but Allah." According to the traditions, the utterance itself causes the massive stone walls of the fortresses to collapse. This march continues across the landscape, moving through the fallen defenses until the army reaches its final western destination, the city of Rome. Antioch stands as the dividing line in the prophecy, the place where a war of spears ended, and a march defined by the power of a spoken phrase